Would you take the roll, please?
Baronis. Present. Bolin.
Present.
Gathing.
Present.
Lopez.
Present.
Moretz.
Present.
Williams. Yancey Smith.
Present.
7 present. We have a quorum. Would you all join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? But before we do that, I would ask you to join the board in a moment of silence for Ms. Deb Adams, our kindergarten teacher who retired but was spent over 30 years in the district as being a phenomenal kindergarten teacher. So if you'd stand for a moment of silence and then we'll do the pledge.
You have the students behind you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rachel, for keeping me up. That's all.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I was reading right there.
Yeah.
Our future grows in every way.
Yes.
So cute. Manos pequeñas pueden crear y crecer, pintar, escribir y un lazo tejer. Cada día reímos, aprendemos, amamos. Y en todos los caminos futuros avanzamos. Gracias a ti tenemos buen inicio. Nuestros sueños son grandes y brillantes, nuestro brillo.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, well, we're to the superintendent's report, and I don't think you can top that, Dr. Lance.
No, so meeting adjourned.
Public hearing. Run the public hearing.
Public hearing.
Oh, I'm sorry. We have to hold a public hearing for the budget, right?
That's it.
So at this point, we would call, we need a roll call for the public hearing?
We already did the roll call for public hearing.
Oh, okay. Never mind. We'll proceed on to the public hearing then. I'll call the public hearing to order and ask that we have a presentation regarding the fiscal year 25-26 budget. And
Well, like you said, it's a hard act to follow, and everybody loves to hear about a budget, so let's get right into that. So we've talked about the budget for the past few months, and what's interesting about Illinois is that you actually have to start your year without the budget and then approve the budget later. So our year actually started on July 1, and this will be the night we actually approve the budget we're working under. So, or at least I hope we'll approve it. And just keep in mind that a budget is a plan, so what we're presented with, you know, as we operate through the year, some things may happen to change this a little bit, but the goal is to end the year at least in as good a place as where we start, if we can. So just to get started, over the past few months, we've done a lot of talking, so I'm just going to go through a couple slides and then we'll move on. So our revenues, if we look here, we have about just under 27 million in local sources of property tax and so forth, about 51 million in state sources, and then about 12 million in federal sources. So that's about 57% state, about 30% local, and about 13% federal. So that's how we're funded. Our expenditures, and really I'm not going to go through all the numbers here, but basically the important part is that about 67% of our money is spent on people. It's salaries and benefits. And so that's the people that make things happen, and then the rest of the money is what we pay all the bills with. So that adds up to just under $91 million in the year. So this is the slide we spend the most time on, and we've talked about this before, but if we look at the first column with numbers, that's the fund balance as of July 1. It is still estimated because we don't have our FY25 audit, and we won't for some time. So we still have to estimate our starting balance. The next column is the revenues coming in for each fund. The next column is the expenditures going out, and then you can see the surplus or the deficit. Obviously, the deficit is in red. So some funds are spending a little more than they bring in. Some funds are spending less than they bring in. And then at the very last column of numbers, you have what we project the ending balance will be on June 30th. So where it says tentative operating budget under the black line at the bottom, those are kind of our final projected numbers at this point, starting with 27 million, bringing in about 89,400,000, spending about 90,800,000, and having a deficit of about 1,400,000, with an ending balance of about 25,600,000. Now, I would point out the line right under that is where we were in May when we were talking about this. And so I'm not saying that $1.5 million is good, but it's a lot better than $5 million we were talking about in May. Okay, we have managed to bring it down that much, and we still hope to continue bringing it down. A lot of that will happen with how we operate and how efficiently we make things work. And last year we were able to find some places, and we're going to continue looking for some places. And we are going to have some conversations throughout the year that are going to be kind of difficult, because going forward this doesn't get better. Okay, even if we just kind of keep doing what we're doing, it's not going to get better. And that's simple mathematics of how the state operates. So again, we are passing a deficit budget, but we can afford the deficit budget for this year, but we do have to act to correct that deficit, and in fact make a surplus budget so we can increase our reserves. Okay, done with that slide. Real quick on historic revenue, you can see over the past few years, starting with 21 in COVID and moving forward, we kind of peaked in revenue in 2023, and now the revenues have dropped some and are starting to kind of go up modestly. Okay, so if you look at what we're projecting going forward, it's about 1.5% to 2% a year that we're projecting going forward. We certainly hope it'll be more, but we don't know, and so we have to be conservative in how we project that. As far as our expenditures, again, that follows the same pattern. We kind of increased after COVID, peaked out in '23, and now we've started bringing it down. Last year, we did a nice job of bringing things down and ended the year with a little bit of a surplus. And so going forward, you can see expenditures will continue to climb because obviously costs never go down. They always go up. And, just look at your ComEd bills, you know what I'm talking about. So the long and short of this is our costs are going up much faster than our revenues. And that's why the tough conversations. So we will be coming forward with recommendations at a later point, and we will be talking a lot more about this. But tonight we would ask that you approve this budget as it stands.
Okay. Are there any questions for the board? Any board members with any questions? Okay. At this point, then, we need to have a motion to adjourn the public hearing for the budget.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Gathing. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Williams. All in favor to adjourn the public hearing for the budget, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The public hearing is adjourned. We now will go into our regular session. We need a roll call again.
Baronis. Present. Bolin.
Present.
Gathing.
Yes.
Lopez.
Present.
Verret.
Present.
Williams.
Present.
Yancey Smith.
President.
7 present, 0 absent. That's a quorum. Now we get into the superintendent's report.
Start us off with some good news.
Excellent. Good evening. We have 3 items of good news to share tonight. The first is from the early childhood programs who have received a donation. They are deeply appreciative of Diego Pisano, a former Head Start student, for his generous donation of more than 50 book bags to the early childhood program. His kindness and commitment to giving back is a powerful reminder of the lasting impact Head Start has had on our students and our community. The next is from several schools, including King, Edison, Taft, LCC, and Mark Twain, who all received a donation and would like to extend their heartfelt thanks to a very generous donor for their donation of books. It's always a pleasure to welcome this donor to their schools, and that generous donor is Board President Bolin. The final school celebrating some good news is Taft, who also received a donation and would like to extend their appreciation to both Man on Fire basketball organization and Courtney Bradley and her team in the OR department at Riverside Medical Center for their generous donations of school supplies for all of staff and students at Taft. Those are our 3 items of good news this evening.
Thank you very much, Dr. Gilbert. Let's move into instructional programming.
Thank you. Tonight for our instructional programs update, I promise to keep this short. We have 1 approval tonight. We are seeking your consideration. This is a extension of a current contract we have with Corwin and specifically Dr. Law. The extension of this contract is to provide executive coaching for 2 additional principals. They would be the principals at Kennedy Middle Grades and our director, Ms. Pam Powell, here at the Early Childhood Program. This aligns to strategic goal number 1 in improving academic outcomes, and the funding source will be Title I funding. That approval we're seeking for you to take action on this evening.
Okay.
Additionally, I wanted to follow up on our academic priorities. As we moved into our last board meeting, you heard Dr. Gonzalez and I speak to our academic priorities for this year, including that of teacher clarity, specifically looking at our standards, lesson objectives, and success criteria with the targeted task alignment. This year we have a new learning walk tool. So you may recall from last year with our partnership with TNTP, we had a tool that we used for our learning walks. This year we've adjusted our learning walk tool to align to our academic priorities. So I just wanted to share a few highlights here of the tool You will see our academic priority of teacher clarity very visible here as we look at within our learning walks as we go into our classrooms. How do we see evidence of the standards being posted along with the lesson objectives? I am learning too, so the students are able to articulate that they are referred to throughout the lesson, including the beginning, middle, and end, and that the students are able to identify their student success criteria, specifically with the prompt of, I will know I am successful when I can. We also see on here evidence of what we expect to see with our student discussions and student collective efficacy. So them looking at monitoring their own progress in that learning criteria, success criteria, driving their learning and their engagement, as well as the work that they're doing on their desks. Is that aligned to the standards, the learning objectives, and the success criteria? SC is not Santa Claus, it is success criteria. So we're also looking, again, you saw the reading across content areas. Are they, meaning the students provided opportunities to read, write, and discuss? They're thinking throughout the lesson. Are those tasks aligned to the 3 levels of relevance for that personal association? There's 3 specific areas that we're looking at there. And then the teacher using that success criteria for the basis of feedback to our students. Some of these areas are newer areas for us this year, and through our early release Wednesday professional development, teachers will have the opportunity to engage in further learning, as well as our administrative team, to further define the components within this walkthrough tool. Additionally, you see one component at the very end with school specific. Each school has identified a problem of practice, an area of focus aligned to their school improvement plan, and they'll be able to extend their specific area within the walkthrough tool as well and receive that feedback. So that is just a quick highlight of our Learning Walk tool for the 25-26 school year.
Who uses it? Who fills this out?
Thank you. So our building administrators, our cabinet members, mostly administrative team members will be filling this out, and we'll be calibrating with one another. As we engage with our instructional rounds, teachers will be part of that process, and teachers will be receiving the feedback from these Learning Walk tools so that they can better their practice along the way as well.
This is just one part of your ongoing assessment.
Correct.
Right? Okay.
Yep, one indicator, correct.
Anybody else have any questions on the walkthrough tool? Nope. Okay, sorry to interrupt you.
No, thank you for that question. And finally, I did want to provide an update. As you know, instructional programs includes our athletic and activities, and as well as our early childhood. I will not provide an early childhood update this evening because you will hear just shortly from Director Powell. However, our athletics, as we think about upcoming athletics and activities, we've already started planning for homecoming, so book your calendars. The week of October 6th is homecoming here in Kankakee with a parade that will take place on October 10th at 1:00 p.m. and that will occur again down Court Street. And we'll have opportunities for our students to be involved, both spectating as well as within the parade. And I promise Dr. Lance will be throwing candy and not hurting anyone this year. We may even get her a candy thrower, or she has to work on some stamina in her arm.
That's it.
We'd like to also congratulate the boys soccer team that has started their season 3-0 and advanced to the semifinals in the Windy City Classic last week. And for our junior highs, our middle grades, and our high schools, various clubs and activities have started. So parents, ask your kiddos what those include. Look at the newsletters being shared from your buildings within Parent Square, because there are many opportunities for our students to be involved, and we encourage them to do so. So that is my update for this evening. Every moment matters. Be on time for school. We're very excited to have all of our students here, and when they're on time, our learning can just accelerate. So that is our presentation for this evening. Are there any further questions?
Any other questions? All right, thank you very much, Dr.
Thank you.
Dr. Gonzalez.
Buenas tardes. Good evening, Board, Superintendent Lance, colegas, and community. I want to start off this evening's Student Services and Diverse Programs report with a note of gratitude for Daisy Rodriguez, one of our teachers at our junior high, and Mayra Campos, one of our substitute teachers. These ladies are spearheading the planning effort for this year's Hispanic Heritage Celebration, and it's an honor to be able to support them this year. I also want to thank our Student Services and Diverse Programs team, also known as SSDP, our directors, our coordinators, our supervisor, our coaches. If you're in the audience, can you please stand up? So, Board, I will be reporting on change this evening, changes in structure and changes in practice. Change is seldom easy, and in life, change is inevitable, but we can choose to grow. This team is walking with me lockstep every step of the way, and I want to thank them for putting up with me. So thank you, team. So I want to start off with an update on our team, an organizational update. So this is a bit of a pulling the curtains and letting you see a little bit of the behind the scenes, and in case you're wondering what the new girl is up to. So I mentioned change. So what has changed? So a few things. So our departments have been regrouped under a new team. So the Student Services and Diverse Programs crew, the SSDP. But within each department, I also want to highlight and bring to your attention that there were also some structural changes and shifts within each department. So for example, we have the expansion of the multilingual team to include a director, a coordinator, instructional coaches, and our secretary. This is a shift from the one coordinator position that we've had in the past and her work with our secretary. We also have practice shifts in the special education team. This year, we have one coordinator. That is a shift from previous years. We are focusing our attention on developing the leadership capacity in each of our buildings by focusing on our assistant principals so they can be the special education champions in each of their buildings. The special education team also has a broadened focus on instructional improvement on our district level team. We have instructional coaches this year because we want to make sure that we have a well-rounded approach to special education. Compliance and keeping legal and making sure we're not getting sued here is a high priority, but we also want to make sure that the instructional practices are equally emphasized. We also, on our Student Support Services Department, we are refining our focus and strengthening our SEL strategy, our district-wide strategy, along with our Tier 2 and Tier 3 MTSS process. And lastly, our health services team has expanded to include both our clinic nurses and staff and our school nurses. So they shifted from underneath the Student Support Services team, and now they are under the direction of our amazing nurse, Lewis. So those are some of the shifts on paper. So with all that, we needed to make sure that we have a clear focus. So what we are focusing on this first year together as a team, and with each of those changes going within each individual department, we are focusing on building systems and building our people this year. And so we are putting first things first. So as a new team, we are in the process of defining, and in some cases refining our work, and strengthening how we work so that we work for schools. We have also been working on a unifying team purpose. So every department has its own flavor, but we want to make sure that as the Student Services and Diverse Programs team, that we're unified and coherent in our purpose and practices. We are also focusing on a departmental team organization and a scope of work. And I'll explain what I mean by that in a few seconds. So if you will bear with me, I'm not one to usually read off the slide. We went through a couple of iterations as a team. What is our purpose and what does our practice look like as a team? So after a couple of drafts, this is the most polished version, and I'm happy to be sharing it for the first time with the board. So what do we do, how do we do it, and why do we do it? So the Student Support Services and Diverse Programs team leads district-wide systems to develop leaders at all levels who remove barriers to academic success by focusing on language, individualized education, health, and social-emotional learning and services. How do we do this? We provide program and services frameworks, guidance, policies, procedures, and resources to our district and to our schools. We also provide a tiered support system through universal professional development, targeted professional development, and strategic on-site support for staff and school leaders. Why do we do what we do, and why do we do the way that we do it? Because our job is to bring out the best in others. So as a team, we want to position ourselves to supplement, meaning to enhance, as opposed to supplant. We don't want to take the place of the talent of our school leadership teams and staff. So we are really focused on developing the leadership capacity in our schools, because when we multiply the leadership, our kids win each time. So that is our purpose and our practice. So what's next? So behind the scenes, we are working on finalizing our team organization and scope of work for each department. This just simply means which seat on the bus do each of our team members occupy, and what is the scope of work? So for our community, for our staff members, who do I go to for what and when? So we're in the process of providing that coherence and that clarity for our district. After that, we're going to move to focusing on what our big three are. So what are our priorities and our goals within each of our departments? How do we know that we're having an impact? And the last thing, rolling up our sleeves and developing professional development sessions, as Dr. Gilbert and I presented at our last board meeting. We do have a series of learning opportunities for our teachers and staff, and so we are also in the process of making sure that they are high quality. Externally, I have launched virtual sessions for school leaders. We call them Step Up with SSDP. So anytime we have a new process, policy, plan, we will offer these virtual sessions for our principals and assistant principals. They're optional because we know they're very busy, but it's giving them that opportunity to hear it directly from us, because we don't always have the opportunity to be in the same space with them. This week, I'm also launching Step Up with SSDP. These are lunch and learn sessions with our multilingual special education, health, SEL teachers and staff. So I'll just be showing up to the lunch periods, and whoever wants to join me for lunch and just chat about how they are experiencing these programs, I'm excited to be able to meet with them and use that information to keep driving our continuous improvement work. For the board, you can expect our kind of a State of the Union report for the multilingual program. You will be hearing this report September 22nd. And then in October, we will have our special education report. So you can expect those in the near future. Any questions on that piece? Very briefly, our health services update, medical compliance. Check this out. So as of today, we are still working on 173 students. But here's the exciting news. Second grade, 100% of our students are in medical compliance. 8th grade, 100% of our students are in medical compliance. So you can see these numbers shrinking each time. And so, to our families, thank you for working with us, and to our nurse team. September campaign, we're keeping up the push. These are some of the ways in which we continue to engage our families. And our last update this evening, our multilingual education update. Hispanic Heritage Month is right around the corner, one of my favorite times of the year. So mark your calendars. Our community-wide celebration will be taking place October 10th from 6 to 8:30 p.m. at LCC. Similar to in years past, we will have food trucks, music, performances from our students, and raffles, and much, much more. So mark your calendars. Marque sus calendarios para nuestra celebración anual de la herencia hispana. El tema de este año es Juntos Brillamos Más, honrando nuestras raíces hispanas. Our theme this year is Together We Shine Brighter, honoring our Hispanic roots. La celebración se llevará a cabo el 10 de octubre de 6 a 8:30. Habrá actuaciones de los estudiantes, música, comida, socios comunitarios. Estoy muy emocionada de unirme a esta celebración en Kankakee este año. That concludes the report.
So the advice on the Hispanic Heritage Celebration is get there early. I've not had a seat any year I've gone, so you got to get there early if you want to see.
That's what I've been told.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Dr. Gonzalez. We've already had our finance report, correct?
No.
But no, we're going to have him give your report during each of those items. So is that all right? No. Come on.
Good evening. So with Mr. Neal already doing the budget report, most of the other items for on the agenda is for maintenance. The maintenance department is looking for the approval purchase of 3 mowers. 2 brand new. One of them will be taken in trade with a couple equipment that does not work. So we have a tractor and we have an attachment that is just taking up room in our shop. So we're trying to clean out the shop, but also we will get a mower for that one. Other items that are, I would say, 10 to 15-year-old in the district are floor machines. Over the past 3 years, we have started to replace, I would say, about 3/4 of the machines. We are down to around 6 or 7. Tonight, I am asking for 3. So 1 more year, and the oldest machine will be about 4 years old. The last item is the approved purchase and installation of the furniture for various district offices. That includes technology, HR, payroll, instructional programs, and the maintenance department. Thank you. Any questions?
I've seen principals ride the mop or the automatic mopping machines. Is that something that's permitted still?
Was it Kale or no?
No.
He's just on the mowers, I think.
Her initials were Miss Starkey. I don't want to rat her out.
Miss Starkey can do that.
She's actually hiding her
Okay,
face.
all right. I think we talked about a derby going on between principals. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. You gonna do your Skyward update?
Oh, yeah?
And we don't need to have no human service, people services, right?
No.
Okay. All right, I think we're the Skyward update, and Dr. Lance has requested some time,
Yes.
so proceed on.
Good evening, board. Good evening to my colleagues and community, family members. Typically, if I had a presentation, I'd need someone over there to help me, but thank you, Keith. I can drive. Thank you, sir. So I just want to give a brief update to everyone regarding our Skyward. So this morning, I issued an apology to all of our staff members, and I continue to regret the way I had Skyward rolled out to you. That caused a significant amount of frustration, anxiety, and angst. And as the superintendent, I own that. I own that. So I apologize. So, when I arrived in 24-25, our first day of school, I wanted some feedback. So I sent out a thought exchange. And I did that again this year as well. So this first slide just gives you a breakdown of the number of individuals that responded from each school site or department. So in this particular instance, you can see the majority of our participants were from LCC, the junior high school, and the high school. But we do have representation from every school, none from transportation, they don't typically interact with Skyward, and then safety and security. And we had 2 individuals from food and nutrition services. When I want to call out here, and I know that it's small, is in 24-25. So last year, when I pushed out this survey, the question was, how was your first day? I was new, and everyone was new under me. But the good thing is that when I asked that question, 77% of participants said that their day was either outstanding or good. 77%. If I add in pretty good, that percentage jumps to 96% that said they had an outstanding, good, or pretty good first day. Then we go to this year. This year asks the same question. The only difference is instead of doing it on day 1, I did it on day 3. Maybe I should have did it day 1. Nevertheless, day 3, and here is what they said. 44% of those individuals who took the survey said they had an outstanding or good week, 3 days. 44% compared to 77%. If I add in pretty good, that number jumps to 78% of folks who said I had an outstanding, pretty good, or good first 3 days of school. But for me, that's alarming, because I don't want it to go down. I want it to stay the same or go up. So thought exchange allows you to do a deep dive. So if an individual responded with something less than good or outstanding, they would respond to the next question that said, why was your day less than good or outstanding? And you can see, this is a word cloud, what jumps out. Skyward, schedules, and communication. So then we go to the next question. What could we do to ensure that your days get better? So I'm just giving you a snapshot of some of the things that were communicated. So this is both a word cloud, but I took the word cloud and put a list in place. So I'm not going to read all of these to you, but what you see are themes that emerged from the participants responding to the question. What are the issues and what can we do? So, Skyward access. Not being able to access Skyward made it difficult to prepare effectively for my students. Having access earlier would have allowed me to organize and personalize materials ahead of time. IEP system rolled out with little to no training, having to navigate and figure out on our own. So we just had a multitude of comments that really centered around the Skyward rollout, the lack of training, the lack of communication, the inability to access schedules. That was the overarching theme. Now, feedback is useless if you do nothing with it. So we said, what do you need? They need training. They need training. And that is where I missed the boat. So, Dr. Gilbert then said, I'm going to do another survey, Dr. Lance, and find out specifically what training is needed. So here you see the next survey. We got 90 responses with close to 300 teachers, because in this situation, we only launched the thought exchange to teachers, doing this in waves. So you can see we did this. This is broken out by grade band. We also can see the demographics by school. But for this particular response, I just want you to see the number of participants at each grade level. So again, our staff deserve better. And I'm committed to making this right. My team is committed to making this right. So here just gives you another way to look at the responses. So again, let me go like this. Didn't show up on this one. So you'll see the majority of responses are folks wanting training on how to utilize the grade book. So 61% of folks said that's where they need support. We have 50% of folks wanting to know how to write an incident referral. And the largest is 71% being able to navigate the IEP system, including how to access a student's IEP. And then at 52%, how to access a student's 504 plan. So that was the training that was requested. Again, Thought Exchange allows you to look at the data in different ways. So here you just see it by programs. So general education, magnet, gifted, special education, multilingual. The top, where the arrow is pointing out the topics. So take a look at this. Where you see NA, that means we had less than 6 respondents. That's why you see the NA. So the NA doesn't mean those people in those programs didn't respond. It means that the N size is small. But you can see the darker the shade, the more people responded. So if you look, as an example, the 4th row, special education, you can see right here, accessing the IEP system. So again, this just gives us another way to look at the data. Here's another way to look at the data, which is going to be very important when we get to roll out the next step of training. So again, we wanted to know by grade band, what are folks saying? So here we go. So right here is utilizing the grade book. And you can see early childhood to 1st grade, less than 5, right? So not a priority for those grades. But then when you get to 2nd grade all the way down, you start to see the percentages increase in terms of what our teachers are saying they need. Then again, if you look at the IEP system, notice it starts from K all the way to 12. And then again, the same thing here, how to access a student's 504, 2nd grade all the way down. So you can see we've got training across the board, but again, Thought Exchange allows us to dissect this in a more meaningful way when we prepare to roll out our training. So things done to date. I mean, it's, you know, I just have to say, our clerical staff, you know, they've been very patient, and we started with them. And it just so happened, I was visiting the building, and a secretary at Steuben wanted to talk to me. And she was very forthcoming with me with the frustration and feeling overwhelmed. And I was grateful that she shared that with me, because if she did not, I don't know if I ever would have known, because that's how hard they work. They just dig in and they do it. But she said, we're struggling. And so I want to thank Joel and Janet, because the following week, they provided 2 half-day trainings. I went up to Steuben today, and that secretary gave me a big old hug. I said, how you doing? And she just hugged me. I barely breathed, but I took that hug. 1-hour training for principals that was provided by Janet. I think that took place last week. It's all a blur. Dr. Clody and her team did an amazing job. Before school started, they did some professional development during student engagement, but they continue to do professional development. I think it started last week, if not the week before, continues all virtual sessions. Spoke to Dan Dannenberg today, and he said, Dr. Lance, I think that they are about ready to roll. Dr. Clody, is that right? Oh, good, look at that thumb. Okay. So just an amazing job for the team coming together. Again, Janet rolled out, she put together a multitude of videos on how to navigate Skyward. We pushed that out this morning, so we're hopeful that our staff members have seen those and can utilize those before we actually do some more in-person training. And then ongoing meetings, I know that Dan, I hope Dan is in the room, he continues, I see you, sir. He continues to meet with Skyward to ensure that we are doing the things, or that they're doing the things that they need to do to get us up and running. So again, I think it's important that I just highlight, when we realized there was a significant problem, that folks step up. Dr. Kelly Gilbert, just a tremendous help from the beginning, teaching and learning, and she said, I'm gonna take this on. So thank you. Dan Dannenberg, man, listen, if I could give you some here, I would. You did a great job, sir. Thank you. Thank you. And again, Joel, Janet, Dr. Clody, Nate Ortman. I mean, you know, when you start naming people, you're going to mess up, so let me stop. All right, so what's next? It's probably difficult to see. This is just a tentative draft of what is next. So, let's see, right here, I try to outline some dates or the week of. So the first two rows, the week of August 25th, is that 25th? Yep, so that's done. That was with clerical. September 2nd, Janet did PD with our school administrators. That was a quick one, but we'll continue to give PD for them. And starting this week, we'll give some training. So this is where Dr. Henderson and his department comes in. So we have, if I'm not mistaken, Dr. Henderson, 40 guest teachers. He says 60-something, okay, and they hours, okay. So guest teachers, and so what we're gonna do is, remember the data I just showed you, how you can dissect it by grade band and schools and programs? Where we're gonna deploy subs. So let's just look for an example on the week of September 16th. We'll just start there as for example. We saw that teachers need access to IEPs. We're almost there. But we're going to say to principals, do your second and fourth graders need training? If they say yes, we're going to take the sub or guest teacher, push them to every second and fourth grade classroom, take those teachers out and give them a 3-hour training. They will go back to their building. Then we'll pull the fourth grade teachers. So basically, we're rolling out this training like this. You get trained, next person. You get trained, next person. Because we are committed to getting this right. Failure is not an option. Say that with me. Failure is not an option. Come on, y'all. All right. Now, I'm not... Oh, well, it's not moving. I don't know what's going on here. Help me out here, Keith. Lord have mercy. Well, failure is not an option unless you're trying to slide that way. All right, the other way, Keith. Well, it's gone. He says it's gone. Okay, so I'll just tell you what the last slide was. We're going to do ongoing office hours. So what that looks like is this. We're going to open up a Zoom room, and we're going to keep that Zoom room open all day. Joe, Janet, and then our trained individuals, they will be in that Zoom room. So if a teacher has a planning period and they're struggling with how to navigate something, they don't have to leave their school building, their classroom. They just click on the link, go into that Zoom room, and someone will be there to answer them. The goal is that by the time we end first quarter, we are all experts kind of experts at Skyward, we'll be in a better place because failure is not an option. So again, I'm going to close here because I don't know what happened with the slides. But again, I do apologize. I truly mean that. That is not an organization indicative of elevating excellence, but we are committed to getting this right. So thank you, Board.
Thank you. Okay, I'm told that we are going right to the principal's report.
You are.
Ms. Powell?
Good evening, Board President,
Good evening.
Vice President, Secretary, and all of the board members, Dr. Lance, families, colleagues, and community members. Welcome to the hub of early childhood education in Kankakee School District 111. Thank you so much for the opportunity to present here tonight to share some of the things that we are doing in early childhood. Early childhood is proud to say that we have been around for 36 years serving little ones, ages 3 to 5, with the conception of our Head Start program. So thank you so very much for allowing that to continue in our district. We have a team of more than 100 dedicated team members who are committed to serving our students. And we do have some of those team members represented here from various locations. If you could please stand at this time, please. To our team members, I say thank you for being the heart of each and everything that we do. Our work could not continue without you. Thank you for all that you do for our students and our families. Thank you. And then I'd also like to introduce our leadership team for early childhood education, Ms. Carrie Phelps. She is Assistant Director of Program and Finance, and Carrie has been here for the entire years that our program has been in existence. Erica Baptist, Assistant Director of Health and Family Engagement. Constance Graska, Assistant Director of Curriculum and Instruction. Blanca Hernandez serves as Supervisor of Family Support Staff and Family Engagement. Rebecca Graham, Supervisor of First Taste. And then last but definitely not least, Ms. Megan O'Neill, who serves as Site Supervisor for First Taste. Thank you to the leadership team for your dedication and commitment. Thank you so much for all you do as well. So getting right to it, our vision flows from the district's mission. We believe that we are here to build community, one vision, one commitment. Diversity and inclusiveness are at the heart of early childhood. Every family story matters to us, and it definitely makes us stronger. Our program reflects on the district values of being progressive, innovative, and creative through play-based learning, exploration, and critical thinking. But above all, it is the relationships that is our foundation. The relationships that we build with our students, with our families, and with one another. Trust among students, among children, families, staff, and community is what allows us to flourish. Tiny hands, giant futures. Small beginnings with a global impact is what we like to think that we do in early childhood education. Our program reach is more than 700 students and families each year. We don't just reach students in classrooms, but we reach our families also through home visits, family engagement activities, and then also by providing various wraparound support services to our families. Our programs include Head Start, PFA, which is Preschool for All, PFAE, which is Preschool for All Expansion, PI, which is Preventative Initiative, which is better known as First Taste in Kankakee. We also have EI, which is our early intervention, and then we have child care, which all falls under the umbrella of early childhood education. We believe that the numbers are not just here. So the 700, these children do not just represent a number, but they are children who have dreams. And then we also take it further to know that their families have hopes for them. Every child matters, every family matters, and that's how we continue to build our legacy. This is a very interesting slide for us. This is our desired results developmental profile, which tells us how our kiddos are performing. If it starts with the responding. If you look over towards the kind of like salmon color, like I believe, right? So if you look there, that's the responding. For students, that's like at our very earliest stage where students are noticing, but they're not really actively responding or exploring, right? And then we get into exploring, building, and integrating. I want to talk very briefly about what, if you see here, and if you look at this particular chart, one of the things here, these are 3-year-olds at the very top here, and you see that we're starting with individuals who were in that exploring earlier stage, and then they moved on as the year went on. And so we were able to move students, if you look along the continuum, when we drop down to, I'm going to go to 4-year-olds, I'm sorry, but when we get to 4-year-olds and we talk about the students who were responding in the earlier, and then when we take the test in the spring and how they actually respond. The most important one for us is how we can connect our 5-year-olds who are going into kindergarten, which is very important. When our students, in order for them to be kindergarten ready, we want them to really move into the building stages, building middle, building later, and integrating earlier. And if you see, if you add up these numbers here, roughly, with the exception of about 5% of our students are leaving from early childhood ready for kindergarten. And I'm on the last graph here at the bottom, and you look, all of our students are performing in the building earlier, middle, or building later, or integrating. That means that we are sending students out who are kindergarten ready. What does that mean specifically? Children are able to communicate clearly. They are able to utilize a vocabulary that is growing. They're able to engage in conversations and begin to recognize letters and sounds. In math and science, it means that children are working on problem solving, classifying, counting, making predictions during play. In social and emotional development, children are learning how to self-regulate, show empathy, and work cooperatively with skills that they've captured in our DRDP. Our 5 essentials surveys tell us a little bit about how we are doing. So when we look at 5 essential surveys, it does highlight some of our goals and then some of those areas that we can actually improve upon. So we see involved families is very good. We are strong in involved families. Families feel connected and engaged. And so we do score high there. It's a 64. But then when we look at effective leaders, collaborative teachers, we see that these are areas that we are neutral. So these are areas that we can actually grow and improve in. And we are doing some things within our department to make sure that when we do look at our 5 essential survey results in the upcoming spring, later spring, summer, that we will see these areas actually improve here. So our goal number 1, our goal 1, what are we doing? Our first goal is instructional coherence. By 2025, 85% of teachers will deliver objectives with clarity. This is in line with our district goals as well. Clarity, we believe that clarity will move us from compliance to excellence. When children know what they are learning and why they are learning what they are learning, their confidence level begins to grow. Clarity is a way to ensure that there is success for every student. If you take a look here in preschool, right, this is what it looks like. Clarity plus success criteria plus visible learning. Today, we are learning how to share toys with our friends. And then we go into the success criteria. If you can be successful, if you can wait your turn, if you can use kind words, and you can give a toy back to my friend. And then there are smiley faces here so that our students can actually go and look and see if they were actually able to meet that success criteria. I tried, but I needed a little more practice. I need help. And it depends on the levels or whatever. And then, of course, we're always wanting to celebrate our students because they are actually meeting their goals. And of course, when you see these in our classrooms, they will be aligned with the learning standards for early childhood as well. But this was just an example, just wanting to show, because of course, we do teach our children to begin sharing as they are playing early, learning through play in early childhood. Our goal 2 talks about trust and collaboration. It is our goal that 85% of staff will report increased trust and collaboration via our 5 essential survey that takes place in May of 2026. We should start getting results back. 100% of staff will join at least one team-based professional development session per quarter. And so we'll be working to see how we can build that trust and work together, because we know that when educators work together in trust, excellence follows, and children expand upon unlimited potentials and possibilities. Goal 3 refers to our student growth, and it is, our third goal is student growth. By 2026, 85% of preschoolers will show social emotional growth on our DRDP. We will focus on self-regulation, empathy, and cooperative play, and the skills that prepare children not just for school, but also for life. So those are our goals, and then here we have an alignment. These 3 goals, coherence, trust, and growth, are braided together into one vision. Together, they make tiny hands, giant futures, our reality. Every child, every family, every day. Equity is the heartbeat of every single thing that we do. We ensure equity by fostering inclusive practices, supporting families, making sure that if families need any type of translation, and then that we have someone here to support them, and then also building those culture connections and training every staff to respect students with what they come to the table with. It's very important that we respect the diversity of all of our students, our families, and team members. Equity means every child, every family, every day has the chance to succeed. And then, of course, when we look at language and literacy for early learners, language and literacy is definitely the foundation. We use a program here that is called LENA. Some of you may have already had the opportunity to experience what LENA is. It's where our children put on little vests, and we tell them that they're superhero vests, right? And so then the vests have like a little device inside of it. And what happens is that the students go around, and the device inside of the vest actually will record how much of communication they are in with an adult. So it's not actually tracking what is being said, but it is tracking the communication, making sure that students are building their language. Teachers receive coaching also with LENA. Another thing that we're extremely excited about is our Dolly Parton Imagination Library. It's going to provide monthly books to our families. And board members, when you actually get your a little gift from us today, you will see that the first book that we're starting with is the first book that's going to go home to our students, which is The Little Engine That Could. And it just basically teaches that whole thing about persevering, being able to persevere and make it through. And so we hope that you definitely enjoy it. So some of the things that we need to continue working on, we'll talk about our stars first. Remember, I talked about that strong family engagement, and we really do have a strong family engagement. Opportunities for growth, or some of our stairs is what we like to call it, that we're looking at, is that we want to definitely work on building that team collaboration, enhance leadership, transparency, and support, and improve participation in future surveys. We want to make sure that we are supporting the whole child's growth. We support the whole child through our DRDP, which is our desired results developmental profile, and then, of course, our CLASS, which is classroom assessment scoring systems, and then ECHRS, early childhood environment rating system. We also, in early childhood, utilize Frog Street curriculum. And you will see, if you go into any of our classrooms, there will be a green frogs all over the place, which is a part of our curriculum, Franny. So then we also have staff development through coaching and reflective practices and professional development. Empowering our families through engagement is huge for us. This past Friday, we had well over 400 grandparents who showed up throughout all of our various locations to celebrate Grandparents' Day, which is huge. We do like when our families show up to visit schools, because children, number one, develop that sense of belonging. Not only am I here, but I have family members who can also visit my school, and it helps us to make sure that they have that mindset of safety as well. So we definitely take part in wanting to make sure families are engaged. You'll see that we'll have definitely more events throughout the year, like Dinner with Dads, where again we have well over 400 participants, where dads show up to support their kiddos. And I know, Mrs. Barones, you've joined us at a couple of those events before, just to take place as our dads have showed up. I know that was one event. But those things are huge for our community and also for our students and families as well. Very important. MOUs, we have several memorandums of understanding in place with Kankakee Public Library. I'll mention a few. The Health Department, KCC, and many more. Right now, we're working with KCC regarding trying to see if we can get all of our paraprofessionals who may not have their certifications. We're working with getting them to return to school, take the test, and then receive their certification. So our partnerships are huge. Partnerships with local mental health agencies and local organizations. For example, we also have our Fall Fest coming up at the end of the month, and we'll be downtown at the Farmers Market location. One of the things that we always try to do is to have the health truck to join us on site, so that anyone needing to have any type of physical immunizations or anything can actually get it taken care of there. Our mission overall is simply to support families and make sure that our children can be successful. So, in closing, I want to thank every staff member, every family member, and every partner who makes our work possible. Board members, that also means you as well. Thank you so very much for all of your support, your leadership, and everything that you do to help early childhood continue to stay afloat. We do really appreciate you. Together, we are sustaining a legacy of excellence, and we are able to continue to serve generation after generation, one tiny hand at a time. I leave you with these words from C.S. Lewis. Children are not a distraction for more important work. They are the most important work, and we must always keep that close in our hearts to know that it is children who should drive each and everything that we do. So without further ado, we do have some things for our board members that we'd like to present you with, as the assistant directors and supervisors will come up and get them. Yes, Ms. Erica, thank you. And then we also have 2 additional people who are on our team who we're going to acknowledge in just a moment.
Thank you.
Board members, again, thank you so much for each and everything that you do to support us. Dr. Lance, Cabinet, thank you so very much for all that you do to support our programs. We really do appreciate you, and thank you.
Thank you.
And then lastly, we do have a few retirees this year. I believe one is present with us, but I am going to definitely call on both of them. One is Ms. Julie Lane, and that should not be Burns, but that was the maiden name, we believe. So Julie Lane is here. Julie, if you want to come on up. Julie, thank you so very much. I've had the opportunity to work with Julie upon returning, and I'm going to sit for this one because if I stand, I'll cry. So but I've had the opportunity to work with Julie since returning to Kankakee. And Julie is someone who truly cares about our children. She truly is here to make a difference. We are going to miss you. She's here with us through April, and then she's told us that that is it for her. So, but we appreciate you, and thank you so very much. Please be careful. We need you until April and beyond. Thank you so much. Thank you for all of your services. And then we also inherited another teacher who's retiring this year. I do not see him, but Mr. Bryant Mathis is also retiring, and we will give him his flowers on tomorrow. And I say flowers meaning gift. We will give that to Mr. Mathis on tomorrow. But again, board, Dr. Lance, thank you so very much, and I believe that I met my time constraints. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Anybody have questions of Ms. Powell before she sits down?
I don't have a question, but I just want to thank Early Childhood. They always give us great hospitality and feed us a lot of food. So thank you all so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're in the public comment section, and we have one person that's asked to speak, and that would be Robert S. Ellington Snipes. And he's all the way at the back.
You got the timer set?
Start the time.
Right there.
Right.
I thought you had a presentation, Mr. Snipes.
I got to be standing up, but I do this, I'm generally doing a show. Want to talk. I've had the opportunity to this weekend to have had 3 students. One that is not, 2 of them that don't live here. One I met that was from Aurora, and I'm a proponent. You may feel that what you do or say doesn't matter. Just put a noun there and a comma. It does later. Many of these thank yous come in. And these individuals are raising families and have successful careers, and they stop to say thank you or whatever for the speeches and things that you gave. But there was a speech that I gave, and I just want to enhance that again because I think it's important or whatever. We dealt with a budget, but there's a parental deficit or deficiency that we need to bring up to parental sufficiency. And so therefore you will hear me speak concerning those lines. I've been employed by the district for a little over 31 years. Much resources and tax dollars are spent annually to support student achievement. The educational staff, no, you didn't.
No.
That's it. Sorry.
Just when I was flowing. Anyway, much resources and tax dollars are spent annually to support student achievement. The educational staff and support staff work tirelessly to satisfy federal, state, and local mandates in addition to preparing students for their future aspirations. But in 31 years, absolutely nothing has been imposed upon parents. In order to change the trajectory and the mandated paradigms, it must begin with parents. Every man and woman with children must have the eternal purpose of life, the obligations of marriage, whether traditional or otherwise, including single parenting, the responsibility of parenthood. We are all obligated, in fact mandated to our children, our youth of all races, languages, ethnicity, and cultures, that there is a better way than the way so many are going right now. It will take patience. It will take persuasion. It will take counsel of wise fathers and mothers. It will take inspiration and perspiration, and even spiritual guidance that excel beyond our own wisdom. It is within families that truth is best modeled and learned. Integrity is cultivated. Self-discipline is instilled, and love is nurtured. It is at home that a student must learn the values and the standards by which to guide their lives. It is at home that we come to determine the pedagogical paradigms of life liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It is at home that a child or student first learn or should learn to act like a human being. The moral standard of the home cannot be substituted by the educational system. Everything else is simply supports. Discipline, integrity, and morality are the cornerstones of life's vitality. It must be invoked in the home first. That's it, that's all.
Thank you very much. Okay, we move into the consent agenda. The consent agenda tonight consists of the approval of the past board minutes, approval of the regular bills, approval of payroll, approval of resignations and retirements, approval of appointments of licensed professional and support personnel, approval of appointments for extra duty assignments, approval of internal appointments, and approval of leave of absence. Are there any items that any board member wants removed from the consent agenda? Hearing none, we need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Gathing. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Williams. Is there any discussion, debate, or questions regarding any item on the consent agenda? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Gathing,
Yes.
Lopez,
Yes.
Verret,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Yancey Smith,
Yes.
Baronis,
Yes.
Bolin,
Yes. 7 ayes, 0 nays, the motion carries. We did just employ the following people. Rachel Gaitan is the JROTC Army instructor. Solomon Varela is taking over as a head custodian. I'm sorry. Eric Austin, paraprofessional. Kaylee Guzman, bilingual paraprofessional. Ava Munoz, Head Start education support. Jasmine Varela, paraprofessional, and Jackson Wade, special education paraprofessional. Congratulations to all of those folks. They've joined an outstanding team. Moving ahead, we'll move into action items. We need a motion to approve the fiscal year 2026 budget.
So moved.
A motion is made by Mr. Gathing. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Williams. Is there any debate, discussion, or questions, further questions regarding the budget? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Lopez,
Yes.
Verret,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Yancey Smith,
Yes.
Baronis,
Yes.
Gathing,
Yes.
Bolin.
Yes, 7 ayes, 0 nays, the motion carries. Next item is approval of purchase and installation of furniture for various district offices. It was discussed by Mr. Draper and more detail at the Finance Committee. Is there a motion to approve that purchase?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Gathing. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Yancey Smith. Is there any discussion, debate, or questions regarding this motion? Hearing none, call the roll.
Verret,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Yancey Smith,
Yes.
Baronis,
Yes.
Gathing,
Yes.
Lopez,
Yes.
Bolin.
Yes, 7 ayes, 0 nays, motion carries. Next is approval to purchase a Bobcat zero-turn commercial mower. Is there a motion to approve that purchase?
You want to do 3 and 4 together?
Sure. That also, number 4 is approval of the purchase of 2 new Skag Tiger Turf zero-turn mowers. Anybody object to combining those 2 items for purposes of a vote and a motion? Hearing no objection, consider 3 and 4 together. Is there a motion to approve items 3 and 4?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Gathing. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Williams. Is there any discussion, debate, or questions regarding the purchase of these 3 mowers? Hearing none, call the roll.
Williams,
Yes.
Yancey Smith,
Yes.
Baronis,
Yes.
Gathing,
Yes.
Lopez,
Yes.
Verret,
Yes.
Bolin.
Yes, 7 ayes, 0 nays, motion carries. Next is approval to purchase 2 stand-on auto floor scrubbers and 1 walk-behind floor scrubber. Not for any derby, though.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Gathing. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Baronis. Is Is there any discussion, debate, or questions regarding this item? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Yancey Smith,
Yes.
Baronis,
Yes.
Gathing,
Yes.
Lopez,
Yes.
Verret,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Bolin,
Yes, 7 ayes, 0 nays, motion carries. Finally, is the approval of an amended contract with Corbin Press, and more specifically, Dr. Nicole Law. We're extending that contract. Is there a motion to approve that?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Gathing, is there a second? Second by Mr. Williams. Any questions, discussion, or debate regarding this item? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Baronis,
Yes.
Gathing,
Yes.
Lopez,
Yes.
Verret,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Yancey Smith,
Yes.
Bolin,
Yes, 7 ayes, 0 nays, motion carries. Just calendar to note, September 10th and 17th are early release days, and our next board meeting is September 22nd, and it will be at Mark Twain. We also have a board retreat for all of us all day Saturday, so it's one more day of fun.
It's going to be riveting.
Yes, it will be. Anyway, having said that, I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
A multiple motion to adjourn.
Let's go.
Is there a multiple second?
Second.
Second by